You do it every single night. You can't survive without it. And yet, most of us are doing it wrong. We're talking about sleep. Not the kind where you scroll your phone for an hour before passing out. Not the kind where you wake up 3 times and check the clock. Real, restorative sleep, the kind your brain and body are literally begging for. Here's a number that should stop you cold. 1 in 3 adults worldwide is chronically sleep deprived. That's billions of people walking around every day running on empty, and they don't even know the full cost. Because here's what the science tells us. Sleep isn't rest. It isn't downtime. It is one of the most biologically active states your body enters. While you sleep, your brain is filing memories, your immune system is mounting defenses, your hormones are being calibrated, and your heart is getting a break it genuinely needs. Miss enough of it, and everything falls apart, slowly, quietly, and sometimes permanently. In this video, we're going to break down exactly what happens to your body when you sleep, what goes wrong when you don't, and what the evidence says you can do about it. Whether you're a healthcare professional, someone managing a health condition, or simply someone who's tired of being tired, this one is for you. Let's start at the very beginning. Most people think of sleep as the brain switching off, but it's actually the opposite. Sleep is an active, highly organized biological process, one that cycles through distinct stages throughout the night. There are 2 main types, non-REM sleep and REM sleep, and they couldn't be more different. Non-REM sleep has 3 stages. Stage 1 is the lightest. You're drowsy, easily woken, drifting in and out. Stage 2 is where your heart rate slows and your body temperature drops. Your brain starts producing bursts of activity called sleep spindles that are critical for memory consolidation. Stage 3 is deep sleep, also called slow-wave sleep. This is where the real physical restoration happens. Growth hormone is released. Tissue is repaired. The immune system ramps up its activity. Then comes REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. This is where most of your vivid dreaming occurs. But REM isn't just the movie theater of your mind. It's where emotional memory processing happens, where creative connections are formed, and where the brain essentially runs its overnight maintenance cycle. A healthy adult cycles through these stages approximately every 90 minutes, going through 4 to 6 complete cycles per night. The first half of the night is dominated by deep, slow-wave sleep. The second half shifts toward longer REM periods. This is why cutting your sleep short by just an hour or 2 doesn't just mean less rest. It disproportionately cuts into REM sleep, which is why poor sleepers so often wake up emotionally reactive, mentally foggy, and creatively drained. The architecture of sleep matters, and when we disrupt it, we pay a price. Let's go system by system, because the body doesn't just idle during sleep. It works. The brain. While you're unconscious, your brain activates something called the glymphatic system, a waste clearance network that flushes out toxic proteins, including beta amyloid and tau, the very proteins linked to Alzheimer's disease. This system is nearly 10 times more active during sleep than when you're awake. Think of it as the brain's overnight cleaning crew. The heart. During non-REM sleep, your blood pressure drops by 10 to 20%, a phenomenon called nocturnal dipping. This gives your cardiovascular system a necessary recovery period. People who don't experience this dip, often because of sleep disorders, face significantly higher risks of heart attack and stroke. The immune system. Sleep is when your body produces and deploys cytokines, small proteins that coordinate immune responses. It's why you feel an almost irresistible urge to sleep when you're sick. Your body is telling you, this is how I heal. Hormones. Growth hormone, which drives tissue repair and muscle recovery, is released almost entirely during deep slow-wave sleep. Cortisol, the stress hormone, reaches its lowest point in the early hours of sleep, giving your body a break from the physiological burden of stress. And insulin sensitivity improves overnight, helping regulate blood sugar. The gut. Even your microbiome has a circadian rhythm. Disrupted sleep alters the composition of your gut bacteria in ways that affect digestion, inflammation, and even mood. The body during sleep isn't resting. It's rebuilding every single night. So what happens when you don't get enough? The answer is almost nothing is spared. Cognitive function. After just 17 hours of wakefulness, your cognitive performance is equivalent to someone with a blood alcohol level of 0.05%. After 24 hours, it's comparable to being legally drunk. Reaction time, decision-making, attention, working memory, all impaired. And here's the scary part. Sleep-deprived people consistently underestimate how impaired they are. Mental health. Sleep and mental health have a bidirectional relationship. Poor sleep worsens depression and anxiety, and depression and anxiety worsen sleep. But the causal arrow starts surprisingly early. Studies show that even short-term sleep restriction in healthy individuals causes measurable increases in emotional reactivity, negative bias in perception, and stress sensitivity. Metabolic health. This one is critical for anyone managing diabetes or obesity. Sleep deprivation reduces insulin sensitivity, increases ghrelin, the hunger hormone, and decreases leptin, the fullness hormone. The result? You're hungrier, you crave calorie-dense foods, and your body is less efficient at managing blood sugar. Studies consistently show that people who sleep less weigh more, even when diet and exercise are accounted for. Cardiovascular risk. Sleeping fewer than 6 hours per night is associated with a 20% higher risk of heart attack. Fewer than 5 hours raises that risk to nearly 200%. Chronic poor sleep is an independent risk factor for hypertension, arrhythmias, and heart failure. Immune function. People who sleep fewer than 6 hours are 4 times more likely to develop a cold when exposed to a virus compared to those who sleep 7 hours or more. Sleep deprivation reduces the production of antibodies, meaning vaccines are even less effective in chronically poor sleepers. Longevity. A landmark meta-analysis covering over 1.3 million participants found that both short sleep, fewer than 6 hours, and long sleep, more than 9 hours, are associated with significantly higher all-cause mortality. Sleep deprivation isn't a badge of honor. It's a chronic health exposure, as real and damaging as smoking, a poor diet, or physical inactivity. How much sleep do you actually need? The most common question, and the one with the most persistent myths around it. Here are the evidence-based recommendations from the American Academy of Sleep Medicine and the Sleep Research Society. Adults, aged 18 to 64, need 7 to 9 hours per night. Not 5, not 6, 7 to 9. Older adults, 65 and above, need 7 to 8 hours, though their sleep architecture shifts and they may experience more fragmented sleep. Teenagers need 8 to 10 hours. Children need 9 to 12. Infants need 12 to 16. Now, the myth of the short sleeper. Some people genuinely believe they function perfectly on 5 or 6 hours. Research suggests that true short sleepers, people with a genetic variant that allows them to thrive on less, represent less than 3% of the population. For the other 97%, sleeping less than 7 hours means functioning below your biological optimum, even if you don't feel it. The reason? Sleep deprivation impairs your ability to accurately assess how impaired you are. You adapt to feeling tired. You stop noticing the deficit. But the cognitive and physiological damage accumulates silently. And no, you cannot fully catch up on weekends. Social jet lag, the pattern of sleeping differently on weekdays and weekends, is itself associated with increased metabolic risk, mood disruption, and poor cardiovascular outcomes. Consistency is as important as quantity. Not all poor sleep is behavioral. Sometimes there's an underlying condition, and recognizing it is the first step toward treatment. Insomnia is the most common sleep disorder, affecting up to 30% of adults at some point in their lives. It's characterized by difficulty falling asleep, staying asleep, or waking too early, occurring at least 3 nights per week for at least 3 months in the chronic form. The first-line treatment is cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBT-I, which has stronger long-term evidence than sleep medications. Obstructive sleep apnea, or OSA, affects an estimated 1 billion people globally and remains dramatically underdiagnosed. It occurs when the upper airway repeatedly collapses during sleep, causing breathing to pause, sometimes hundreds of times per night. The result is severely fragmented sleep and chronic oxygen desaturation. OSA is strongly linked to hypertension, atrial fibrillation, type 2 diabetes, and stroke. If you or someone you know snores loudly, wakes gasping, or is excessively sleepy during the day, a sleep study is warranted. Restless leg syndrome causes uncomfortable sensations in the legs, often described as crawling, tingling, or pulling, that worsen at rest and are temporarily relieved by movement. It significantly disrupts sleep onset and is often associated with iron deficiency. Circadian rhythm disorders affect the timing of sleep rather than sleep quality itself. Shift workers and frequent flyers are particularly vulnerable. Chronic circadian misalignment, where your sleep schedule is out of sync with your biological clock, is associated with increased rates of cancer, metabolic disease, and mental health disorders. If you suspect a sleep disorder, please speak with your doctor. Many of these conditions are highly treatable, and treating them can be genuinely life-changing. Evidence-based strategies for better sleep. Here is what the science actually supports, not the gimmicks, not the supplements with weak evidence. The real, validated strategies. 1. Protect your sleep schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, including weekends. Your circadian rhythm is a biological clock, and consistency is the most powerful way to synchronize it. This single habit has more impact on sleep quality than almost anything else. 2. Manage your light exposure. Light is the primary signal your brain uses to set its internal clock. Get bright light, ideally sunlight, within an hour of waking. This anchors your circadian rhythm and improves both sleep onset and mood. In the evening, dim your lights and limit blue light exposure from screens for at least 1 hour before bed. 3. Cool your bedroom. Core body temperature needs to drop to initiate and maintain sleep. The optimal bedroom temperature for most adults is between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit, or 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. A cooler room is one of the most underrated sleep interventions available. 4. Limit caffeine strategically. Caffeine has a half-life of approximately 5 to 7 hours. This means a coffee at 3 p.m. still has half its caffeine load in your system at 8 or 9 p.m. For most people, stopping caffeine by early afternoon is a meaningful change. 5. Alcohol is not a sleep aid. Alcohol may help you fall asleep faster, but it suppresses REM sleep and fragments sleep in the second half of the night, leaving you feeling unrest despite a full night in bed. 6. Use your bed only for sleep and intimacy. Stimulus control, the practice of reserving your bed exclusively for these activities, is one of the most evidence-backed components of CBT-I. Working, watching TV, or eating in bed conditions your brain to associate the bed with wakefulness. 7. Build a wind-down routine. The hour before sleep should be low stimulation. Dim lights, calm activities, minimal screen time. A warm bath or shower 1 to 2 hours before bed causes the subsequent body temperature drop that triggers sleepiness. 8. If you can't sleep, get up. Lying in bed awake, frustrated, anxiously watching the clock is one of the most counterproductive things you can do. Get up, go to another room, do something calm in dim light, and return to bed only when you feel sleepy. This breaks the association between bed and wakefulness. Small, consistent changes compound. Start with one, then add another. Let's bring it home. Sleep is not a luxury. It is not something you earn after you've finished everything else. It is a biological necessity, as fundamental to your health as food, water, and air. Every night, your brain cleanses itself of toxins. Your heart recovers. Your immune system resets. Your hormones are recalibrated. Your memories are filed. Your emotions are processed, and your body is rebuilt. When you protect your sleep, you are protecting your brain, your heart, your metabolic health, your mental health, and your lifespan. The good news? Unlike many health challenges, sleep is something you can take direct action on, starting tonight. Pick one strategy from this video, just one, and be consistent with it for 2 weeks. If you found this video valuable, please like and subscribe. It helps more people find evidence-based health information when they need it most. Drop a comment below letting us know, what's your biggest sleep challenge? We rid everyone. And if you or someone you know might have a sleep disorder, especially sleep apnea, please speak with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis and treatment can genuinely change the trajectory of your health. Take care of your sleep. It will take care of you.